What is going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? How are y'all doing? This is your weekly AI and tech news with myself, Cyrus Harbin, and of course, the queen of AI, Ash herself. That's our new intro, and clearly, I'm trying to figure out, make sure that everything is working because we don't have a, we don't have like a, what is it called? I forget. I was gonna say A&R, like I'm a music artist. Basically, it's us kind of running the show right now. We don't have a team behind the scenes, so we're testing it out. Let us know what y'all think about it. We're gonna make some tweaks and updates to it in the future. We thought it'd be pretty good to have kind of more of a official intro for y'all. But let us know, as always, where y'all are tuning in from, what it is you do in the tech industry, or what it is you're looking to do in the industry, whether you are a founder, if you're someone aspiring to get in the industry, or if you are already a tech professional. Let us know in the chat because we would love to be able to acknowledge you and know where you're from and know what it is that you are currently doing in the industry. That being said, for those of y'all that are new here, we're going to be going over the latest and greatest and craziest tech and AI news from this week, things that are relating to drama when it comes to tech billionaires, laws that are being passed, of course, AI, and how it's reshaping everything as we know it, as well as the impact that everything is having when it comes to tech careers and other careers in general. Let us know the craziest piece of tech news that you've seen this week, whether it's something crazy that's been going on with Elon Musk. We know that him and Kanye West have a bit of a duality. Kanye West goes crazy in the art world, and then Elon is going crazy basically in everything in tech and everything within politics. But let us know the craziest piece of news you've seen this week, and maybe it's something that we could talk about in the chat. That being said, for those of y'all, Joe said, I can hear y'all, see y'all tuning in at work right now. Currently, the hospital admitting clerk working to transition to be a systems administrator. That's dope. Good stuff. Hey, y'all, look, so for those of y'all that are tuning in, if you are someone that either you need money, whether it's for personal use or if it's for business funding, we are giving up to $50,000 to $300,000 in funding for either personal use or business use. I want to be very clear. It is a loan, but already over 20 people in our Discord in the past, now it's been about 2.5 weeks, over 20 people in our Discord have gotten funding. The funding, you receive it within 48 hours inside of your bank account. Again, it is a business loan, and the terms depend on your credit score, the FICO score, all of that good stuff. But typically the loan is something that's able to be paid back 4 to 6 years. So we encourage people that use the funds, either use part of the money towards getting an education for a tech career, and of course, use the rest of the money for whatever you need to use it for. For those of y'all that are business owners, that's where you get more. That's if you're a business owner, you typically get between about $150,000 to $300,000. If you're a business owner, of course, invest it into your business, but also save a portion of it as well as a good stockpile. But the team will be able to give you a little bit more advice on that, so that way you're not left in the dark. But again, all you have to do is click the link down in the description. It'll be the very first link, so that way you can get the funding. If you don't qualify for the funding, because there's a qualification, there is a AI credit repair service that can get you to where you'll qualify in roughly 15 to 45 days. And then again, 2 days later, you'll have the funds in your account. But if you do qualify, many people have been qualifying, then you'll have the funds within 48 hours. Let me know in the chat. I'm curious. If you got $150,000, whether or not you're going to apply, if you got $150,000, what would you do with $150,000 extra on top of what it is that you currently have going on in life? Very curious to know about that. Now I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to my lovely, intelligent co-host, queen of AI herself, Ash. You can please let the people know a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go ahead and get started with the news.
Yeah, guys, happy to be here for the Saturday Tech and AI news. It gets crazier every week. As you guys already know, my name is Ash. I'm an AI solution specialist, consultant, and a wearable technology startup founder. In this stream in particular, we're going to be revealing something really special from the hush hush. This is the smart translation glasses. These aren't even available in the United States. Only 5 people in the world actually have first access, including Cyrus here. So we're going to give you a little sneak peek into this later, but really looking forward to this. So I'll pass it back over to Cyrus. Let's go ahead and get started.
Hey, look, y'all, we got some stuff to talk about today. Let's see what y'all saying in the comments first. We'll go ahead and jump in. So LaQuisha says she would invest the money. What would you invest it in particular? I'm curious, what would you invest it into? Because I love it But it's like some people say, yo, I invested into me. I'm the investment. What would you invest into? NC Realtor lady says, I have appointment to talk to someone from Tech is a New Black on Tuesday. Oh, that's fire. That's fire. Is that appointment? Is that for the funding? Oh, S&P 500. Ooh.
Hey.
That actually might be pretty smart. If you get $100,000, if it's a 4-year loan, you'd probably have to pay back roughly about $1,500 a month. S&P 500. I wonder what the math is. If somebody could let me know in the chat what the math is on that, because I'm curious to know if you would make more monthly from the S&P 500 than you would have to pay back for the loan. That's what I'm curious about. It's like putting it into something that's going to make you more money that it'll pay the loan back for you, and you'll have like extra money as well. So that way, it basically will kind of turn it into free money. That's the goal. Is to get money and find some vehicle to put it into, so it makes it as if that money actually was kind of free money for you. Stock market also, I own private school and add a tech curriculum to the program. Oh, that's fire. Oh, yeah, you thinking ahead. We love it. We love it. Hey, that being said, talk about thinking ahead. Let's go ahead and get ahead of the tech news from this week. Kicking things off, self-driving trucks hit the highway in Texas. No driver needed. So Aurora Innovation just made history by launching the first driverless heavy-duty truck service for commercial use on public roads in the U.S. Their trucks are already running freight between Dallas and Houston, completing over 1,200 miles with 0 human drivers on board. They are now gearing up to expand into El Paso and Phoenix and working with Volvo and Packard to scale mass production by 2027. So look, want to know from y'all in the chat, how do y'all feel about this first and foremost? Secondly, is this the future of shipping and logistics? Like, do we really believe that AI, robotics, we know the self-driving cars are here and are going to be growing, but do we believe that these self-driving trucks are going to be the future of the industry, the future of shipping and logistics? And also, what do y'all think is going to happen to the millions and millions of truck drivers once these machines fully take over? Because as we know, the trucking industry is a huge industry. Not only is it a huge industry in terms of it employing millions and millions of drivers, but also it's a relatively high earning industry. Now, you don't make as much money as you make in the tech industry, but they make more money than the average person does. Truck drivers make really good money. So what do you think is going to happen? What do y'all think is the game plan when millions of people that are making between about $80,000 to $200,000 a year lose their jobs? What do y'all think is going to happen? What do y'all think? What's the solution to this? I see a few people popping up in the chat real quick, but as always, I want to first and foremost hear from my co-host, Ash. What are your thoughts on this? How do you think it's going to affect things?
Yeah, so I love that we're starting off with this because we're just adding truck drivers to the long list of roles that are going to be replaced by AI inevitably. So in order to find a solution to this, to see exactly, how these truck drivers can be employed and perhaps find a new avenue of this work, I could say that it could be beneficial for them to help train AI systems. So for, truck drivers, they spend a lot of time on the road. It's a lot of data, a lot of information to make sure it's getting safely from one location to the other. So perhaps, at least in the interim, truck drivers are able to contribute to this data set and testing. However, whenever they are going to be replaced, what's going to happen? That's going to take for everyone in every field to learn how to employ AI and artificial intelligence. So we all know how it can enhance our day-to-day, but for truck drivers, how exactly are they going to adapt? I'm interested to see what everyone else thinks in the comments.
Yeah, I see what y'all are talking about. So LaQuisha continued on saying stock market. Also, I already read that part. Bree says, yes, AI or self-driving trucks will take over and it will take over jobs. Very true, very true. Yeah. Roderick says, he's talking about for the loan. He says, I would use it to get my tech consulting company off the ground and launch my first app that I developed. Hey, that's fire. Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Love it. Your tech consulting company, what when you get it off the ground, or like what is it going to be about exactly? What is it going to be consulting on specifically? I'm curious to know that. Now I'm going to be real with y'all. As much, and y'all know me, I'm very, the future is coming, the future is coming, the sky is falling. One thing that I have been a little skeptical about have been self-driving semi-trucks. Now, I knew it was eventually going to happen, but even though we have self-driving cars now, for those of y'all that don't know, Waymo collaborated with Uber and to have self-driving cars in Atlanta and Austin right now. Self-driving Uber service in Atlanta and Austin. It's now currently live and available. So we knew that was going to happen, but I still didn't think, I thought that we were going to wait at least about 5 or 10 years before we had self-driving trucks on the road. The reason for that is because if a self-driving car gets into an accident, that's a catastrophe. I don't want to downplay that. That could cause a huge pileup. It could cause a lot of lives to be lost. It could cause a lot of property damage. But if we're talking a truck, you remove the word could from all of those statements. It's not there could be a pileup. It's there will be pileups. It's not there could be lives lost. It's there will be a lot of lives lost. It's not if there be property damage. It's millions on millions of dollars in property damage. So I thought that the cities, the government, and others would wait at least about 5 to 10 years of data to see that self-driving vehicles are significantly safer and that the technology is far past beta. Not even beta. When we're talking about self-driving vehicles, anything that's dangerous, it shouldn't even be past beta stage. It needs to be past Delta, Echo, Golf, Foxtrot. It needs to be in tango. It needs to be past so many phases. For those of y'all that know your military letters, or Greek letters, depending on which category you fall into. It needs to be so far down the pipeline of evidence because this is way too risky. Like self-driving cars were risky. I personally feel like we're going from 0 to 100, pun intended. like we're literally going from self-driving cars where there's still, in a way, still a concept, still being tested in different markets, to, let's just jump for semi-trucks. And y'all know me, I'm super pro, let's go for the tech, let's advance things. But this is like, whoa. Those are my, that's how I feel about it. I would say the global citizen. I think Morgan from Afrotech nailed it. Shouts out to Morgan, the founder of Afrotech, the founder of Blavity. Gen AI isn't going to take our jobs. It's going to take our industries. Ooh, not completely, but there isn't a single industry that won't be touched. That's facts. That's why I tell people, business owners think they're safe from AI, but they're not. Because think about it. Think about mom and pop shops. Think about what Google did to the yellow pages, and it did to so many other industries with search. Think about what the internet and Amazon and Audible did to libraries. And even though libraries, of course, are owned by the city, nevertheless, you get the point. Think about what all of these tech businesses have done to mom and pop shops. Now, quintuple that with AI businesses, where it's now going to topple some tech businesses, but then it's going to super overlap any other type of business. A lot of these tech companies, what's about to happen, we already see it happening because Meta does this, Amazon does this. They buy companies that are promising, that are startups, basically. They buy them and ingrain them into their businesses. We might or might not be entering an era where it'll be almost impossible for anybody to start a new business. Like, you'll be able to start a business, but it'll probably be acquired in 6 months to a year, or you'll be outcompeted by one of the main companies: Meta, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google. I guess you could say Nvidia, and as well as a few others are in that category now. Again, not saying that no one will be able to start a business. Nevertheless, to your point, AI, that's a great point, is coming for the industries. It's coming for, so again, if you're a business owner, and that's part of the reason why we collaborated. We collaborated with Wealth Builders to be able to help everybody get funding, is to help y'all get your businesses off the ground, getting $200,000 to $300,000. Because as we know, the community that receives the least amount of funding, even for our startups, is the Black community. Most funding from VCs, investors, less than 2% goes to Black startup founders. And so that's why we decided, hey, let's collaborate so that way we can get some funding into basically into our community for y'all's businesses or for your own personal use, as long as you are using the investment wisely. Nevertheless, really great point. Really great point. Ash, what do you think about that? How do you feel about, I guess, that comment about AI not really coming to take our jobs, but more so coming to take our industries?
Well, I think as we evolve from artificial general intelligence into the stage of artificial super intelligence, we're getting to a point where we're seeing all of these advanced technologies come to the stage, including advanced computation. So computer vision technology, which is helping all of those autonomous vehicles be able to operate on the roads. And also that's contributing to the advanced robotics. And so as these technologies continue to become more complex, so should our day-to-day. And so I love how you mentioned that not only is it going to be like, it's not going to be AI taking your job, it's going to be somebody who is utilizing AI. And so that's where we're going to get the competitive advantage. So even somebody, for example, that is a truck driver who will inevitably be replaced long-term, they have a lot of expertise and experience in that particular field. And so that could be leveraged by a company or organization. So Cyrus mentioned earlier that we're creating monopolies, businesses that are in control, dominating, to where no other small micro business even has the opportunity to thrive because they're automatically going to be acquired. And so that is going to cause significant risk. Right now, we're seeing how the Trump administration is prioritizing, of course, innovation, which has its pros and its cons. So on one side, we're accelerating towards, AGI, but on the risk side, it's going to be significant. And so when it comes down to AI, we cannot afford as a nation to take this risk, because when AI does go rogue, just like when Cyrus said, there's going to be large semi trucks on the road that are going to crash inevitably. That will happen. We want to make sure that we're able to monitor that risk. So instead, everybody can utilize their expertise, several years of experience that they have, and use it to develop micro businesses and solutions that are going to be able to contribute to these monopoly businesses. But we can't let it go out of control to where, the FANG organizations are going to be, the only businesses that are operating in the future. The core of innovation is difference and diversity and new experiences. And so I look forward to seeing, what organizations are coming up. And I think that Cyrus's program, to where you're actually able to get funding, is changing the game, because we're talking, hundreds of thousands of dollars that are going to be able to take your business to the next level. And like you said, you can get it within 48 hours, which is next level. So we have some great comments here as well. You can tap into that. Global Citizen says, spot on. What you all do here is so important. Salute and respect. Thank you.
Love, much love.
Appreciate that.
Love.
Yes. Mr. CMB, welcome in. Says AI is just moving crazy. And it is, which is why everybody here is preparing themselves for the future to get ahead. Everybody else, we don't know what they're going to do, but everybody's here, going to be ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, great point.
Really great points. Really great points. Yeah, I truly believe one of the things, there's a quote, and y'all know me, like, even though our platform is Tech is the New Black, I'm not a person that's really big into leaning into anything that could be seen as race baiting type of conversation. Nevertheless, facts are facts, spades are spades. There's a quote that says that when white America catches the cold, Black America catches the flu. And mind you, the quote is bigger than white America. The quote overall is just really saying whoever's at the top, because we know right now white Americans are not at the top. Right now, it's Indian Americans, Chinese Americans, Japanese Americans, of course, the Jewish community, people like that. They're really at the top. And white Americans right now are seriously catching the cold, but Black Americans are strongly catching the flu, and ultimately meaning the trickle down of the pain that we're all feeling. And so we talk about AI replacing industries. What's one of the number one industries where young to middle-aged Black people are entrepreneurs and are making a lot of money? The trucking industry. We all saw the boom that happened, especially during the pandemic, where so many of us became founders of trucking services, whether you own a small fleet of 3 trucks or a larger fleet of about 30 or 40 vehicles. It's like, I have a friend, literally after this stream, I'm going to call her. Her family's been in the trucking business. She's a young Black woman, her sister and her mom, it's 3 of them. They've been in the trucking business for over a decade before the trucking business boom happened. They seriously have been doing the trucking business with a lot of drivers. I'm going to contact her and see what they're going to do about this, because you have to keep in mind, because think about it this way. This is why this is scary. And this is why we need funding. We need money. We need to make more money, whether the tech career, whether you get this funding. The reason why is because it takes money to make money. We all know this. But to make big money, it takes big money. So even the average truck driver, or not truck driver, the average trucking business, someone who owns a trucking startup, their business makes roughly about, and I'm going to look up the actual numbers. I've looked these numbers up before, but it's been a couple years. They make, from my memory, their business makes roughly about $400,000 a year. That's overall gross. That's pre-tax, that's pre-payroll, that's pre-insurance, that's pre a lot of different factors. So they make good money. The take home of the business owner is roughly 6 figures, maybe $100,000 to $150,000 or more. But that's nowhere near enough money for them to buy a fleet of self-driving AI semi-trucks. Like they don't have the bands for that, especially because this technology, since this technology is new, as we know, when new technology come out, is typically the most expensive it's going to be before they figure out cost-cutting ways to make it. So this is going to, the only people that are going to be able to afford this technology or attract investors to their trucking businesses to get this technology are mainly people who either don't look like us, or even if they look like us, it'll be like you have to be in the 7 figures. Like you have to be grossing multiple, maybe even netting multiple 7 figures a year before an investor, because even if you're making multiple 7 figures a year, that probably still isn't enough for you to have these self-driving trucks. You're going to need investors. And I don't even know if many investors are going to want to come behind a trucking business unless it's one of the big wigs that are out there. So that's why this is such a, going back to Morgan's quote, again, shouts out to Morgan DeBon. I don't know if I can think of her last name right now. The founder of Afrotech and Blavity, that quote that was dropped is coming for these industries. And the thing that's scary is that's good news for some of these industries if they have the money, because they're like, cool, this is new technology for us to implement and make more money passively and get rid of our truck drivers. But for many of us, it's not such good news unless we take advantage of it. So we definitely got to find ways to make money, let AI, let tech make money for us. That being said, I want to make sure that those of y'all who haven't done a consultation with Ash, again, for those that don't know, for those that came in late, Ash is a AI generalist and AI consultant. She different business owners and professionals and aspiring tech professionals meet with her so that way they can learn what AI solutions and other type of technology and SaaS technology that you should implement into your life, into your profession, or into your business to help you compete in the market. So for those of y'all that want to do that, again, first consultation is entirely free. Go in the description down below and you'll see the link to click on that Because again, the goal, we talk about this news. The news is entertaining, it's shocking, but we're different. We're not here to be like the news stations where they just give you fear-mongering news and that's it. We're here to provide solutions. We can't just, I'm gonna be real. One of the things in our community, y'all think about the ghetto. If y'all think about the hood, and not even just the black ghettos, white ghettos, whatever, wherever you're from, you think about the ghetto, all you see are people that complain about problems. They talk about the problems. We are moving from that. We have to talk about it. We have to acknowledge, but we have to talk about solutions, and we have to individually take responsibility towards taking steps towards those solutions, because talking about problems does not solve anything whatsoever. And so one thing I will tell y'all, when my income went up, when I went from, as I was a Lyft driver, living in the ghetto, living in the hood, to fast forward, making a couple $100,000, I could tell you one difference between people that are making $0 to $40,000, $50,000. They usually complain, but never have solutions or never talk about solutions. And then when you usually are seeing, not all, but most people that are between like that 50 to 100K range, not all, but many, they don't do a lot of complaining, but usually they're comfortable. So they're also not thinking about solutions to get further. But it's when you're usually around people that are kind of broken out past those numbers and a little bit higher, or people that just think on a higher level, that they're constantly thinking about how to get further ahead. How to, like, a problem happens, okay, what's the solution to the problem? So y'all, we are here not just to talk about the news, not just to scare y'all, but to talk about different solutions and things that we can do as a community so we can get ahead. So shouts out to y'all that are here, for y'all investing your time into yourself. Make sure you're telling your friends, your family, whoever, about these things that are happening. Tell them to tune into the content. And also, please hit the like button. I never say that. I rarely say that. Please make sure y'all hit the like button, smash the like button, so that way our platform can grow. Because I'm about to tell y'all a little sneak preview. We are about to start interviewing founders. So Tech is New Black, literally, we're going to be interviewing founders. And I promise y'all, you're hearing this from me firsthand. We're going to be interviewing billionaire tech founders on this platform. We're going to be interviewing them not just for the cuteness of an interview, but y'all will be able to tune in live and be able to ask them questions about how they started their business. How are they implementing AI? What are their hiring team like? What are their choices? Like, really get into the nitty gritty. But again, y'all are able to help make this happen by hitting the like button, by subscribing, by sharing, because as our platform grows, because as these business owners see our views, they see our likes, they see our engagement, it tells them, yeah, we should come on your platform. We should be interviewed, and we want to talk to you and your audience. So again, y'all, support us by sharing all of that, because understand, when we have top business owners answering your questions, it elevates all of our minds to understand how billionaires and millionaires think, so that way we all start performing and operating better. So again, thank y'all for being here. Shouts out to y'all for being here. But please support us just by liking, by sharing, all of that. So that way the platform can grow, so it can benefit y'all and just kind of benefit our community in general. That being said, Ash, please go ahead and take it over for the next. Please go ahead and take it over. I'm going to look at the comments until you are ready. Vaughn says, in the marijuana industry, thinking about tech sales. That's real. Yeah. That's very real. Yeah, think about all of these different THC shops and marijuana shops, and how they're going to be fully automated. They're going to be shops, you'll walk into them, no human will be in there. It'll literally just be robots in there, AI scanning you, making sure you're not stealing anything. It's like whatever business you have, really got to think about how to innovate it with AI technology to make it different. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with laundromats, because laundromats are like a very traditional business that have been around for a while. And I'm sure there's some type of way to innovate laundromats. I know someone recently innovated the laundromat industry by turning it into like a coffee shop and like a hangout spot. So it's like, while you're getting your laundry done, you can go to the bar, get drinks, you can get coffee. It's a co-working space. You could like bring your computer, get work done. So I was like, yo, that's pretty smart, but I'm sure there's a way to elevate it even further. Woo TV says, "Come on, bro, we gotta stand up, gotta stand up." Shouts out to Woo TV, one of our VIP members that's here. Love to see you, Woo. All right, Ashton, go ahead and take it over. Grateful to have you,
Yeah,
Jasmine.
shout out. Yes, grateful to have you. All right, you guys. So let's get into this next piece of news. This is Major T. China is shifting reality as we know it, and here's how. Okay, so China's Three Gorges Dam slightly alters the Earth's rotation. You heard that right. How exactly is it altering the Earth's rotation? Here's how. All right, so NASA themselves confirmed that China's massive Three Gorges Dam has caused significant changes in the Earth's rotation. All right, so the dam's reservoir essentially holds approximately 40 cubic kilometers of water, and they shifted the planet's mass distribution, resulting in a lengthening of the day by zero point 0 microseconds and a shift of Earth's axis by 2 centimeters. So that's the T. Those are the exact stats. So essentially, we can say that AI is slowing down time. They're utilizing somehow building a complex dam with artificial intelligence that can slow time. All right, so what does this mean? So this is going to highlight how large-scale human engineering projects are going to be able to have unintended planetary effects. Also, as far as scientific insights go, we're hoping to have this provide data for geophysicists that are going to be studying Earth's rotational dynamics. And also, this brings questions. So what exactly are the long-term implications of such a huge infrastructure project on Earth's sustainability? And also, should global regulations consider the planetary impact of this massive engineering endeavor? So it sounds crazy to say that a dam is able to slow down the Earth's rotation, but NASA somehow has pinpointed it and said that China was able to accomplish such a feat. What do you guys think of that? That is mind blowing. So the physics, the very baseline of time and space is being manipulated because of advanced technology. Cyrus, what do you think?
Man, who gave China permission to do all this stuff? I feel like, hey, I don't know what's been going on with China, man. I feel like China acting like they own planet Earth. They like, yeah, we just gonna slow the rotation down. Like, who approved this? Like, there should be a committee of people that should say, hold up, China, you got to get all of our approval before you start slowing the Earth down. Like, hold up now, man. First the pandemic, and now, now I'm just- and now and now they slowing down the Earth's rotation. They need to chill out with stuff. I feel like China just be trying stuff. They like, we just gonna do this. They just be trying stuff. They like, yo, we just gonna do this real quick. No permission, no approval, no protocol. Hey, we just gonna do it real quick. China is
Yeah.
the definition. China is the definition of don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness. And they don't even ask for forgiveness. Yo, but hey,
Yeah.
jokes aside though, that's incredible. I'm still scared. I'm still like,
Yeah.
what? So what's the benefit of this? Is I'm wondering. Like slowing the Earth down, it's not gonna slow our aging or nothing like that. Like, you know what it is? This is what I think it is. This is a joke, by the way. I think it's this. I think because the Chinese are aggressively trying to fix their population issue or their underpopulation issue, they're like, maybe if we slow down the Earth, we'll slow down time to where we can give our people more time to repopulate. I'm totally joking though. But no, jokes aside though, Ash, what is the purpose of this or the benefit? Or is it just
I
something cool? Is it
I
just
think
a flex? They like, hey, look, we'll slow the Earth down.
oh am I frozen right now?
Yeah, you're frozen. We can hear you, but we
I think
can't
I'm
see you.
frozen. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you are. I can hear you, but I just
Okay,
can't see you.
well, basically I think this is more so I'll keep it going. I think this is more so like an unintended consequence. So although it's crazy to think that a huge dam itself can alter physical reality, I'm not sure if they intended to do something like this. Honestly, this was the first time that I heard about it, so I'm gonna have to dive deep into the science. But the fact that they have discovered that they can do this with the dam that already exists, so what do you think's going to happen next? Now that they can alter the fabric of reality and continue to do so, I think that's going to be interesting to see. However, I do recall a headline where the U.S. government themselves had some technology to where they could also, alter the fabric of reality in the space-time continuum. But I think it's interesting to see and to think of the technology that one day will exist. So, I mean, we know that a dam, so it's obviously past the powerhouse of like leveraging the reservoir, massive amounts of water. So, I mean, we can enhance that with like hydropower and then imagine what we could do. What if we could one day manage to have time travel or something crazy like that? I think that is definitely going to be possible one of these days, especially given the fact that, something like this has popped up, but it's blowing my mind.
As I think about it, so we talked about this before. Let me know in the chat if any of y'all are amateur science buffs like myself. We talk about how currently we are a type 0 civilization. So despite how much technology we have, it's so civilizations are put into different categories. There's a type 0, type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 5. And there might be further types beyond that. What does this mean? It means two things. One, on a very, in layman's terms, it means how advanced are you as a civilization? If we go a little bit more granular, one way to pinpoint it is to highlight how it is that we get our energy and we get our power. Currently, we are a type 0 civilization, meaning that since we were, whether you want to talk cavemen or you want to talk Adam and Eve, since the most primitive times up until now, we have not made enough technological advancements that have even made us a type 1 civilization yet. We're still a type 0. We're still ignorant. And meaning that we get all of our power, everything we get is from the earth. Oil, all the minerals, water, we power everything. We live, basically we need the earth to survive. A type 1 civilization, and somebody keep me honest in the chat if y'all follow this type of content or y'all know about this stuff. A type 1 civilization gets its power from things like the weather. They control the weather and it powers and does everything from the weather. Shouts out to Dubai. Dubai is kind of sort of heading that direction right now. If y'all don't know, Dubai controls their weather. They do something called, they seed the clouds and make it rain. Because y'all know Dubai is a desert. Dubai wouldn't be able to operate as a popular city without rain. So they have technology that makes it rain on a certain basis. That's why y'all know, I think roughly a year and a half ago, Dubai had a really crazy flood that happened. It was a really crazy flood. And it was because basically their technology broke. They were seeding, they were controlling the weather. And at some point, God said, look, now. And so, but long story short, they control their weather in a sense. So type 1 controls the weather and uses the weather to power things. Type 2 civilization, and somebody let me know in the chat. Y'all, somebody look this up. Y'all could look it up and put it in the chat, the breakdown. Type 2 civilization, they leverage, I believe, the moon and either nearby planets, or it leverages the sun, I think. A type 2 civilization leverages the sun, and it leverages like certain things that are in our nearby solar system, and then so on and so forth. Now, the difference between a type 0 civilization and a type 1 or a type 2 civilization is so far advanced, it's hard for our minds to conceptualize. That's why it's believed that if aliens do exist, the reason why we haven't seen the aliens is one of two reasons. Either one, we are so ignorant to them, like we're so ignorant, we're like ants. Like they don't even care. Like they're able to see us and see our planet, but it's like we're almost like cavemen, and they're like, oh, look at them. They're just now discovering AI. Oh, so cute for them. It's like they're so far advanced, they don't even care to watch us. It's like, imagine how boring it is watching ants. That's how we look to them. It's like it's boring. Or they're so far advanced, they're in another dimension, meaning there are mirror dimensions. And this sounds sci-fi, this sounds like some Marvel stuff, but it's a legitimate thing. There are like parallel dimensions, like simultaneously a more advanced version of me could be standing right next to me, watching me, and I wouldn't know because they're so advanced, they're able to be in the parallel universe watching us. There's a theory that aliens are so advanced that they're literally walking around us right now, but we can't even see them or touch them or hear them, and they're that advanced. And so there's theories on theories on theories when it comes to this stuff. In my belief as a Christian, I believe there's truth to that. I believe that's the spiritual realm. I believe God, angels, demons, I believe they are so advanced or spiritual, however you want to call it. That's the other realm that interacts with us, but we are limited as to how we can interact with it. That's a whole other conversation. Let's keep it to the tech stuff. That being said, I'm saying all of this just to say that I believe if China is working to doing things like controlling the earth, as dangerous as these things are, we do have to push the envelope if we're going to advance further. Another sidebar, another aspect of being a type 2 civilization is that we become cyborgs, where basically we live forever because we're part ourselves and part cyborgs. And our for those of y'all that don't know, our brains can actually live and function for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. It's just our bodies that can't last that long. So hypothetically speaking, if we do have technology, and they literally, I don't actually, did we report on this? I don't think we did. There's a company right now that's working on the technology where they can take your brain and put it inside of another human body, and allowing you to live forever, basically going from body to body to body. I bet Jeff Bezos is going to do that because we all know he wants to live forever. He's doing everything to live forever. Anyway, let's see. Anyway, what y'all talk about in the chat? Woo TV says they really think like that frequency is too low. Imagine having to dumb it down just to come to Earth and vibe for a bit. You know what? Aliens going to Earth. This is gonna sound so disrespectful. Aliens coming to Earth will probably be like me going back to my family that lives in the hood that still is just on. All they do is sit on the porch and smoke and drink. And it's like when you go there, it's like, okay, y'all family, I love y'all, but it's like, man, y'all don't talk about nothing else except for sports and whatever. And it's like, man, you feel like you gotta dumb yourself down.
We got a long way to go indeed. You guys are killing it in the comments, though. Let's tap on it. All right, Michael says they do time travel now. That's what quantum entanglement is. They measure the speed with an atomic clock. Yes, I think this technology is super exciting. I mean, just the idea of quantum entanglement. So essentially, it's that two particles can exist at different time periods or different places and still be connected and entangled. And so they're using that from a scientific standpoint to be able to alter time itself so that you can travel between, periods without limits. So I'm excited for that, you guys. But it is like a scary thought to think that like we're already there in the future. Also says, hey, they just need to encode the light with messages. Yeah, light transmission, which is super cool. So like you can communicate with light itself. I want to test that. Like I want to be able to see what this technology is doing inside the lab. But yeah, that's exciting stuff too. I mean, I heard about a particle that can curve through a crowd. I know y'all seen the headline and reach one singular person. So that's super exciting. Desmond says, I agree. It's mind-blowing. Space-time manipulation is unfolding quietly behind the scenes. I'm curious how this impacts us personally. Well, for now, they can slow down 0.10 seconds. However, eventually, who knows where they're going to take it? So yeah, that's the question, right? How is it going to impact us personally? I like to think that if you guys have any ideas, any scientific ideas that you want to explore, start now, start today. One of the ways that we can take advantage of this AI revolution is through government funding. So the Trump administration is, of course, prioritizing innovation and building sectors. So that means education. We know that he signed the bill to where they're mandating required AI education in classrooms, but also they are prioritizing building, let's say, computational factories, quantum computers, that type of stuff. Right now, the large companies are just doing it. So like NVIDIA, Meta, they all have their like computational facilities. But why can't we have a computational facility as well? We need one. Our communities need a computational facility. And that's one of the things that I would love to have in the future. But I digress. Blue TV says China created a fake moon. If I'm not mistaken, a couple years ago, they showcased two. I haven't heard of the fake moon, but I did hear about the fake sun, which is crazy, some type of like Wakanda type technology. But yeah, it's definitely mind blowing. Journey, myself love says messaging with them clouds. Michael says quantum telephones. And if we know that China has quantum technology that is a trillion times over, actually, it's over a trillion times faster than whatever the US has, we could assume that they are not only several years ahead, but like we're talking decades, you know what I'm saying? Decades. They're so far ahead that like the US is going to have to catch up inevitably. That's what they're trying to do now.
I'm trying to
So
figure out how did China do this, because not too long, like everyone knows, China was known for having cheap stuff. China was known for copying the U.S. usually and having cheap versions of what the U.S. had. And it's like the only product that most people knew that China had that was really advanced was, and honestly, they don't even make it. No, I'm thinking Japan. I'm thinking Japan, Toyota and Samsung. And I think Japan is the owner of Toyota and Samsung. China definitely is. But if Samsung originated from China, China would be controlling it, controlling Samsung. So yeah, but that being said, I wonder, how did China make this huge leap to where they went from making cheap versions of US stuff to where now it's really being debated, and I think a lot of people are kind of come to a consensus like, are they more advanced than us by far? And it's like, how the hell did this happen? Because they didn't come out with AI. It's like, how the hell did this happen? So what the hell? What the hell, Leon?
here's how. It's because they prioritize education. That's the key and foundation to everything. The US doesn't even have the talent right now, and they're not prioritizing teaching and showing the next generation. I mean, they signed a mandate, but do the skills actually exist? Not at this time. And so they've been studying all of these advanced technologies. Jensen Huang himself said that over 50% of individuals who study AI research are, from China. So it's easy that they're dominating because their values are based on innovation, but also the evolution of their society. And so the US is taking a decentralized approach, but China also understands the importance of being centralized and making sure that we're maintaining communication and dialogue about what's happening, because the US right now is secluded. And so they have, obviously different allyships with other countries and organizations, but China and all other countries in the world are leading the way by saying that we need to come together and collaborate to make these decisions, because they're already so far ahead. They see the future. They already know what's coming. So
Oh, you're talking about
Dallas,
the
I'm not
type,
touching this. So type 1, we're all familiar with that, uses all energy available on its home planet. Type 2 harnesses all energy of its star, the sun. Type 3 utilizes energy of its entire galaxy. Oof,
yeah,
Dallas, this is blowing my mind
yeah.
right now.
And I
Oh
think
man, yeah.
type four utilizes the energy from the entire universe. Or maybe I'm thinking type five. So this gives perspective as to how advanced, Because again, think about us literally using the sun. Like, imagine us, we have to build a machine that's
No.
powerful enough that it is able to use the sun and manipulate the same way we're just now learning to manipulate the earth. A type one civilization is already manipulating the sun. So that gives perspective as to how, like, we it's theorized that we won't be a type one civilization for at least another. Now AI is going to help us get there way faster. We might be a type one civilization in about another 100 years or so. And then they say, like, by the time we become a type two civilization, it probably would take about 1,000 or 2,000 years from now. So it's like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, part of me is like, man, like, part of me feels like we're born in the greatest time because of the AI era. But another part of me is like, man, I kind of sort of wonder what it's gonna be like 1,000 years from now. Because think about it. When we think about 500 years ago, when there was no air conditioning, there was no heat. You had to make a fire. You had to make a fire if you wanted to be warm. There were no cars, no planes, no phones to call people, none of these things. Things were incredibly primitive. There was no understanding of of basic sanitation. Doctors, if you got sick, that's why the average lifespan back in the past was, I think, roughly like 25 or something like that. Because if
Yeah.
you got sick and you went to the doctor, the doctors were ignorant. The doctors used to tell you, do this, do that. It'll be stupid stuff. Do y'all know up until the 19th century, if you had a disease, doctors would cut you open and drain your blood out, thinking that they would think the blood draining out was draining out the disease as well. And of course, most patients died when they went to the doctor, either because they bled out or because they got infections because the doctors didn't even clean the utensils. They would cut one person open, have blood and stuff all over it. I'm not trying to gross anybody out. And then they would take the same utensils, barely wipe it down, and then use it on another person. So they were passing all types of infections and diseases. Think about how primitive we were just 200 years ago. Imagine 1,000 years from now. I'm gonna be real with y'all. 1,000 years from now, planes will not be a thing. We're gonna have like teleportation, where you'll be able to teleport to another country. Where instead of you having to go through TSA, you'll go to the airport. Instead of you jumping on a plane, airlines are probably going to transition into these teleportation things where you pay for a ticket and you don't even have to go through TSA anymore because now there's nothing for you to bomb or nobody for you to attack. You literally could just you pay for a ticket and you just walk through the teleportation thing and you teleport into another. This stuff, I know this stuff sounds crazy, but think about how crazy 500 years ago it would have sounded to people, even 200 years ago, to say, hey, we're going to be flying in the air. And it'll be a machine that 200 of us could sit inside of it comfortably and sleep with our feet kicked up. And 200 of us will fly from one part of the world to the other part of the world. Somebody will look at you like you crazy, like, well, no, man, shut up. Like, this technology is going to exist, y'all, and that's part of me is kind of jealous. I'm like, dang, I wish I could see those times because I'll be flying. I'm like, man, I wish I could just teleport.
You might be able to, Cyrus. Hey, I'm not even gonna get into it, but with wearable technology, the potential of that, we're gonna be hopefully one day creating some tech that can work with our biome, leveraging, our natural semiconductor of melanin, which is electrically conductive. And we could all be superheroes with superpowers. So I got y'all. If we can, you guys, y'all are going to be living for as long as you can. You and your family and loved ones, everybody going to be good. However, we got some geniuses in the chat. So let's shout out everybody before we move on, because we got some great points. We got some, y'all are geniuses for real. So let's go ahead and keep the ball rolling. Journey, the aliens came out of Florida last year, didn't they? Possibly, right? Florida man. Michael Burns, yes, many worlds theory. Hell yeah, we're getting into the science of it all. Physics. Woo TV says They really think like that frequency's too low. Imagine having to dumb it down just to come to Earth and vibe for a little bit. All right, this is from our last conversation, but right, the aliens talking about essentially being more advanced and not even being able to relate. But that's what we're getting with AI, artificial intelligence systems. So with artificial intelligence, when we're getting into ASI, we're literally creating our own advanced competitors, essentially. So we're creating better beings. It's the next evolution of society, and we all have to adapt with it or be left behind. As a matter of fact, Elon Musk recently with his Neurolink technology, and this video blew my mind, but you got to check out. So essentially, he's now able to have the people who have the chip in their brain. They can now literally communicate with people in their day-to-day. So like instead of them having to rely on like the slow communication, video games, now they can communicate freely. And he's being able to personalize the communication by allowing it to come off as not only his own voice, but like excited or sad, and automatically with artificial intelligence, which is crazy. Anywho, Journey Myself Love says polarities, dualities, they're on a different frequency. You're on the right track. We're all on the right track here, right? We got to stay with that high vibration. So HARP technology, agreed. Yes, Mr. CMB on that genius wave. Ontario says totally agreed. Appreciate you. Said our brain is an antenna, and it is. So imagine the power that we can unlock. Junior says, like the movie Replicas with Keanu Reeves. Exactly. So we can live with half a brain and AI can add to it until you're all silicone. Now this is a crazy theory. Man, we'll touch on that later, but that's mind blowing. Mr. CMB says they use energy from the start, and cosmos, it's like 4D, 5D, 6D. We can't comprehend it. The stars, yes. Star technology. Oh my God. Empty Worker says there's a billionaire who's receiving blood transfusions from his son. Yeah, Ryan, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know. So apparently, like platelet-rich blood. We all know, billionaire blood boys, how they're doing like blood transfusions to keep them young forever. But what I'm saying, that is a whole other conversation. Tack Williams says India or Dubai uses more cloud seeding because it works for their environment. Keep in mind, cloud seeding comes from General Electronic. Other use cases are not as practical here in the United States, right? I feel like please don't be trying to manipulate the weather. It's fine, at least in the U.S., right? Woo TV says y'all need to create a tech news uncut and uncentered. We're going to be in, but it's a cross between tech and spirituality when y'all speak at times, but y'all keeping it kosher right now, keeping it politically correct. But yeah, I mean, we definitely can continue the tea. So LinkedIn user, this is a great comment. Let's dive in. The scale you're referring to is the Kardashev scale, a method of measuring a civilization's level of technological advancement based on the amount of energy it can harness and use. Types of civilizations we already went through, type 1, type 2, etc. And so, hey, you're a genius. Shout out to you, because this is a great point in the levels that we're going to be evolving into. So now, we got level 1, level 2, and we'll see. TV says, "Hey Ash, right? I have to start my live show. I've been like, I'm like an introvert, you guys, but we'll see about that." Journey Myself Love says, "We got to level up our vibrations, be on a higher level." Agree. What's the point of technology if it ignores the positive benefits of Earth, its creatures, and humanity? This is so important, because we have all these billionaires who are able to make a significant impact. We have Elon Musk, who says that we only need a large plot of land to be able to power energetically our world and society. However, he's not taking those steps. He's just owning the company that does it. So that could be one of you guys. Somebody has to do it. We can't rely on the billionaires to change the world. We have to do that ourselves. So Woo TV says, correction, it was the sun. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Okay, let's get through this. Appreciate y'all's comments here and engagement. Y'all are killing it. So just for clarity, are you saying that China has the fastest, best AI chips? I'm a little confused. The bottom line is, I mean, some people may say no, but for me, I can only answer for myself. Yes, China is dominating. Nobody wants to say that, but China is dominating. As a matter of fact, they are so far ahead of the United States that the United States, if they did want to compete or take it to, a conflicting level, which I say that we never should do. But yeah, the United States is going to be at a disadvantage. China, they're resilient, they're strong. They have values of being able to create a win-win partnership for the world. But beyond that, just inviting the United States to the table for respectful dialogue, mutual respect, that's a key, right? So they have their misgivings, as any country does, but technologically, they're so far ahead. We all have to come to that bottom line and conclusion.
I'm
Yes.
I'm gonna say something. This is something that could get me canceled, but I don't really care. And this isn't to be political because I'm not Republican or Democrat. I have pros and cons about both sides. That being said, I do blame the last administration. Not saying Democrats are stupid or whatever, but the administration in general. I do blame them as to why China was able to catch up and pass us. Because again, a lot of stuff I don't like about Elon, a lot of stuff I don't like about Trump. But if we look at the last 4 years, what was happening technologically between our government and the tech industry? The only thing that we were seeing with news between the government and the tech industry was the government suing all of our tech billionaires and our tech leaders and having all of them on trial, which deservedly a lot of them deserve to be on trial. And by the way, these are my thoughts. I'm not saying these are Ash's thoughts or anybody else's thoughts. These are my thoughts. But it's like when we look at the last 4 or 5 months, and again, I'm not a Trump or Elon fanboy, but when we look at the strides towards, we acknowledge the fact of the strides towards us being a technological giant, us being an AI giant, us implementing AI into our schools. It's like comparing it to the last 4 years has been night and day. Like I feel like I've been talking so much about tech AI, yo, this is everything. And now it seems like finally now everybody realizes it now. And of course y'all realize it because y'all been tuning into our content. But meaning now the world realizes it and social media realizes it because now our current administration is making it at the forefront of the conversation. Because it's like the last 4 years, we haven't heard anything about what's been going on with the advancements with China's AI. And I think that's part of the reason why I feel like I'm in the dark as to how China caught up so fast and passed us. And so yeah, I do blame the previous because I mean it seems like all of our focus was on transgender stuff and on a bunch of other things. Things I'm not saying those things aren't important and those things don't matter, but it seems as if it's like we just had our heads down and it's like what the hell is going on? Like, yo, that being said, I personally, and I could be wrong, I personally don't think China has the best chips. I still believe that companies like Nvidia, Intel, and I can't think of the third company. There's a third one that's American. I believe they have the best chips and best AI chips. That being said, I know one piece of news I was going to talk about today, but I foregoed it, is that China does have a new AI chip that is rivaling NVIDIA right now. So, I mean, either way you slice it, Jensen Huang is Asian. So, however you slice it, I guess they do have the best chips. Whether you want to say Chinese Americans or native Chinese people. So, I guess either way you split it, they do have the best AI chips.
Yeah, most definitely. And Taiwan specifically is the number one builder of these
Thank
advanced
you.
chips. I would say like they're number one themselves, but there are other, countries, not only China, like Cyrus said, Japan, who are building advanced technologies. The key is how you power it. So we know we have quantum technology, trillion times faster. And now, recently, I've seen that Japan has new developments to where there's untapped power that they're able to, I guess, access with these chips. So that's changing everything. Um, but it's definitely exciting to see. I mean, I don't think the U.S. would. The bottom line is like, who's ahead and who would win if there was any rocks thrown. I mean, I think that we all have our own conclusions of who's ahead, but yeah, the U.S. can definitely catch up, and they are.
The
And they
the,
are.
the, the, the only reason I don't want China to win. Jensen Wang said a quote this week I thought was genius. Someone asked, Jensen Wang said there is no winner because this is an ongoing race that never stops. And I think in our minds, we keep thinking like, oh man, if China wins, it's all over, or if these people win, this is gonna happen. But it's like it's not like technology, like we stop advancing. So there is really no true winner. It just we continue to compete. My only thought is that, and this could be the news, this could be my ignorance when it comes to China. My only fear is that, okay, my only desire is that if China does win, because China's been doing a lot of I don't want to say propaganda. They've been doing a lot of promotion of how open they are and how they want the success of the entire world. Nevertheless, my only qualms are like, okay, are they being legitimate? Or if they actually do power everything and have the most advanced technology times 10, are they going to basically try to take over everything? Not like they're going to enslave everybody, because we're past that point, but more like a modern day version of slavery, where America and Americans are limited by because think about it. China, much respect to China, the history of China, I can't speak about now and the future, but everyone's known the history of China is that if you start a business in China or you're Chinese, you don't really own your business. China owns your business. And China can tell you who you can and can't do business. That's why the richest man in China, uh, the owner, the founder of Alibaba, multi billionaire. That's why he doesn't, even though he's the richest man in China, China controls him. And so that's my only thought, is that one of the benefits, there's a lot of issues with the US, but one of the benefits about being American, and I'm a living proof of this, is that first off, you could just start a business. Your business can make hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars outside of taxes, which our taxes are ridiculous. Outside of taxes, you could move how you want. You can hire people from other countries. You can run your business from another country. You can collaborate. Like, the government has no say so over what it is you do with your business in America. So you really feel incredibly free. That's why most entrepreneurs in the world either move to America or they move to Dubai, because Dubai is also really great when it comes to for entrepreneurs. But China, no one goes to China to start a business. And so that's why my only fear is that if they run everything, and this is where we get into political stuff, which I'm not saying yes or no, I'm not saying right or wrong. And I'm not a politics buff. I'm not a political buff. Y'all know that. I stick in my lane. I know faith, I know the Bible, and I know tech. I know the Bible, I know tech. That's it. Anything else, I'm just talking. That being said, my fear is that if China does lap us, that everything can either become, in terms of our currency, can end up being in the yen. I think that's their currency, right? The yen. I want to make sure I'm not. Yeah, the yen.
Yuan.
Or it would. Is China a part of what is the name? I don't know why I can't think right now. I can't think of the names of stuff right now. Just like I couldn't think of the name of the Kurvasov scale or whatever it is. What is the name of that the group? BRICS. Yeah, China's a part of BRICS, or it could be that. I'm cool with whatever happening. I'm cool with the U.S. not winning if that means the betterment of the world. That's all it is for me. As long as the world is better, we're good, we're safe, we're still able to start businesses and not be controlled by a government that tells us what we can and can't do with our business. That's the only thing that I'm concerned about at the end of the day.
And this is such a great point, because nobody's having these conversations, but Cyrus brought up something that is so significant, to where the American freedoms and democracy is going to have to be sustained. And so with that, from a government level, it's going to have to require regulations and laws that are actually sustainable themselves. And so I think this is a great point because of course we want to make sure that we're aligning with, American freedom. However, we have to be able to look into the future and say, what are the actions and decisions that are being made now going to trickle into our future reality? How is it going to look? How can we predict what the future is going to look like? And for now, just as Cyrus mentioned earlier, it's looking like monopolies are going to dominate and take over. Now, whether or not the government's in control, the people are in control with the democracy, or large corporations are in control, which particular future do we want and desire? Because right now, the policies and regulations that are being implemented are ones that are going to create, total domination with Meta and Google. And so we also want to be able to innovate with smaller organizations for all of us, the mom and pop shops, the people who are building startups. And so with that, we can take advantage of the different incentives and government funding that is available, like I mentioned earlier, in education and in building all of these advanced AI computational facilities in order to develop them on our own for the people, because we want to keep it for the people, by the people. So that means we're going to have to take advantage of it, because right now, Elon Musk and Tesla, they're taking advantage of, all of the government contracts and incentives. However, there's going to need to be a shift, because we do know that there was a plan. What was that called? 2025. The plan, I don't know if it was just called 2025 or like the 2025 plan, but that is being executed in real time. And with that, it is a capitalist nation. So we do see that we have to follow the money. And so the bottom line is that, yes, so much innovation is happening, but everybody here is in the right place, because you can take what's happening in the world, evolve and adapt, and you can gain the competitive advantage by not only having access to massive amounts of funding with Cyrus's program, but also education, which he also has as well. So take advantage of that now. So if you're not already in tech, I think it's clear that there is no better place to be this second. And tap on the links below.
Yeah, tap the links below. For those of y'all that tuned in later or tuned in and didn't hear, we have collaborated with a brand where we're providing people up to $300,000 in funding. If you are a business owner, on average, business owners are getting between $150,000 and $300,000 within 48 hours, money in your bank account. If you're not a business owner, then you can get up to $100,000, between $50,000 and $100,000 in funding. And it's really been phenomenal in our Discord. Anybody that's in here that's a part of our Discord or community, y'all been seeing it. People have been getting funding literally within less than 48 hours. There are requirements. You do have to have a minimum of at least a 680 credit score. You do have to have a certain credit card utilization, certain other factors as well. But if you don't qualify, you don't have to wait a year until you qualify. There is AI credit repair service as well that allows you to be able to qualify within 15 to 45 days, depending on what all you have on your credit. That'll determine how long it'll take to get everything off of there and put trade lines on your credit to get you up to point. But that being said, y'all, the whole purpose and whole goal, one, is to provide financial relief. Because a lot of people that have been joining our boot camp, what we've noticed, because we have job placement assistance for those that don't know, but a lot of people join our boot camp, they're like, hey, I've been watching your content for a year. I thought about getting in tech, but now I just lost my job, or now a tragedy struck. So now I really need to get in tech. And it's like, you're not going to get in tech in 1 month. Like it's not that fast. And so we're excited about this, because now this provides, like, a lot of people in our boot camp, after they joined our boot camp, they ended up signing up, and literally now they have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their bank account. On the low end, $60,000, $70,000, really able to help them out. So that way, those that are tech professionals or aspiring professionals can literally have that money in their account to take care of their needs while they are working towards getting in the tech industry and using our job placement assistance. But for those that are business owners and founders, literally just an active LLC, you don't have to have a bunch of employees and stuff like that. As long as you have an active LLC, literally they're getting between 150 to the one person got $300,000. I want to be clear. On average, it's between $150,000 to $250,000 if you are a business owner. Again, you do have to qualify, but if you don't qualify, the team can tap you in with the AI credit repair service. And the sooner you tap in with that, the sooner you get the money, basically. That being said, y'all, yeah, click the link down below so that way you can get access to that and schedule with the team. Now, the team is booked, so you'll notice there's not a lot of availability. You have to kind of book days out. That's why somebody here in the chat said they have a meeting with the team on Tuesday, even though the team is taking calls over the weekend and meetings over the weekend, is because so many people have been booking to get this funding. So make sure y'all don't wait on it. Don't sit on it. Tap in, because the longer you wait, the further pushed out it's going to be be able to get the funding. Be able to get that funding. That being said, last thing I'm just going to mention this. We're going to talk about this further in the future. We have a AI trading tool that is making everyone between hundreds to thousands of dollars daily, Monday through Friday. After next week, I am going to start interviewing people that are using the AI trading bot, so they could show you screenshots daily of how much money they're making. I'm going to start posting probably sometime next week how much money I'm making daily. The only reason I'm not doing it now is because I don't want to. For those of y'all that are content creators, it's important to not post too many different types of things, because then it confuses people. So it's like I'm talking about tech careers, and then over here I'm talking about getting funding, and then over here I'm talking about AI that's making you money passively. Literally, that's what it does. It performs at an 80 to 87% accuracy. There's never been a losing week. Every week, everyone's making at least thousands of dollars each week. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I want to show y'all the website. And because on the website in particular on the website, there's a screenshot. There are screenshots of like a week of earnings and losses, just as an example. So I want to show y'all this really quickly. Y'all going to get a quick glimpse of this. I'm not going to talk about this too much, but I just want to give y'all a glimpse. We're going to talk about this more in the future. Again, the website is still a little bit under construction. There's some updates happening to it, but this is literally 1 week worth of profits. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. This is actually what made me collaborate with this brand. They've been doing this now for the past 6 months. They already have a community of people that are making like money on money on money. I was hanging out with the guy. Y'all see these numbers: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This guy was in Colombia with me. We were hanging out. He's one of the founders. This was from his account. Literally, every day he was showing me how much money the AI was making him passively. So $920, $2,041. One day was a loss of $500. Next day was a gain of over $1,000. And then he ended up leaving town. So this is good. But then also, if you go down, and this is the month-to-month calendars, if you look at it. So here you can actually see like how much, and this is kind of I didn't know it swipes. Hold up now. Anyway, so y'all can see the wins. Everything in green is wins. Everything in red is a loss. But you can see how large the wins are compared to the losses. 616 or 616, $1,004, 300 loss, 2,300, and then these are just zeroed out days, no wins, no losses. And again, it's AI that's doing it. The AI is doing everything for you passively, and it's called options trading. So anyway, so it's really phenomenal. People are making money on money on money, and the AI is getting better and better. So I bring this up not to promote this, because I'm not going to give you all a link and tell y'all to sign up or anything like that. I'm showing y'all this really quickly because we're talking about AI tech news. And so in the news of AI replacing jobs, replacing industries, we are now stepping into an industry where AI will make you money passively while you sleep, making you hundreds to thousands of dollars. So you can be on vacation, you can be with your family, you could be working your full-time job and still making, based on the example you showed, that's $3,530 passively. Also, I want to be clear. This is based on how much you have in your trading account, which is the platform is Webull. So there are people. I'll show y'all this crazy example. One of the other accounts, because you can have multiple accounts. One of the other accounts from that same founder. I'm not sure if I can maybe I can show y'all this. I'm trying to make sure this is not gonna show my text messages and whatnot. Let's see. I don't be having any crazy messages. I'm still just trying to make sure. All right, yeah, I don't have no crazy messages, so whatever. Y'all about to see who's pinned at the very top of my y'all see Ash is pinned at the very top.
Yay.
It's my number one. That being said, when you have more money in the account in your trading, the bigger players are having days like this. $14,000. But this is people that have like you have 20 something, 30,000 up to $30,000 in your trading account. So it's able to trade off of that and make you these kind of profits. But there's risk mitigation to where there's never like drastically large losses. Anyway, that being said, again, I'm not sharing this to promote this right now because we're not really going to start promoting this until later. I'm sharing this just to let y'all be aware of what we're working on behind the scenes. Because let's keep it a stat. I said this before. Entry-level jobs in the tech industry, we only have about probably another 2 years to get in the tech industry. If you're not in the tech industry within really, I would say a year from now, a year and a half, entry-level jobs are going to be basically obsolete for the most part. And so right now, what we're working on is not just getting people in tech, but also how can we help people passively make thousands of dollars weekly leveraging AI? Because AI is taking jobs. So guess what? Let's have AI work a job for us and make us money and put AI to work for us. So that's what we're working on now to really save our community and to make sure everybody is able to, be able to live life and be able to truly live free and be on vacation. So that being said, I'm not promoting this right now on social media. I'm going to start promoting it in about a week or two. The reason why is I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm making so much money passively from my AI bot. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna share that yet. Anyway, when I promote it and y'all see me promote it, it's gonna make sense when I start promoting it. But again, y'all are here. Y'all tapped in, so y'all get to see some of the goods early on. But we'll talk about this more in the future. That being said, we got to get to the next piece of tech news. We got to go ahead and jump on it because I have a little bit of time to hang out with y'all, but I'm not sure what Ash's capacity is. So I want to go ahead and make sure we're able to get to some more news. And some of the news, Amazon versus SpaceX. The battle of the billionaires. Jeff Bezos versus Elon. Amazon just launched 27 Cooper satellites into space. Its first move in a $10 billion plan to challenge Elon Musk's Starlink. The goal is to build a rival global internet network using hundreds of satellites. Starlink already dominates with thousands of satellites and millions of users worldwide, but Amazon's catching up fast, aiming to get half of its fleet in orbit by 2026. They've even booked over 80 launches, including some with SpaceX itself. Dang, I guess they working with the ops. You gotta. Hey, this is just the latest round in the Bezos versus Elon Musk rivalry. Because as y'all know, they also got the rivalry with Blue Origin versus SpaceX. And now it's Cooper versus Starlink. Bezos keeps entering Elon Musk arenas, but he keeps trailing. Blue Origin hasn't matched SpaceX's launch success, and now Cooper is years behind Starlink's lead. Y'all know what, to me, this is a perfect example of, because both of them are geniuses. Jeff Bezos is a genius. If y'all read the book, the Everything Store, the story about how he started Amazon, his childhood, Jeff Bezos he's an actual genius. The same way Elon Musk is a genius. I don't like Elon Musk. In some ways, I don't like him. Some ways, I love him. That being said, both are geniuses. But this is a clear example. Goes to show you it's better to not wait until you have something perfected, and it's better just to go ham. Elon Musk goes ham. He just like, I'm gonna start this, I'm gonna start that. He'll see somebody else doing something. He'll be like, let me come on board, be the CEO or be one of the executives. He's literally like Kanye. He just like, I'm gonna just go and do this and do that and do this and do that. So he ends up so much further ahead. I feel like, in my opinion, Ash, I don't know if you agree or disagree, and if y'all agree or not in the chat, I feel like Bezos's problem is that he's a little bit too much of a perfectionist, where he moves too slow with things. He just moves too slow. And it's like, it's crazy to me. Like the fact that Bezos was way richer than Elon before Elon, and Amazon was booming and popping while Tesla was down and SpaceX was down before Tesla started popping. And y'all know what's crazy? Bezos had plans for Blue Origin. Back when him and Elon first met, they had dinner. This is before Elon was the Elon we know today. Him and Jeff Bezos used to be friends. Bezos and Elon during dinner had conversations about their plans to start Blue Origin and SpaceX. And it's like Elon just did it and went for it. And Bezos was like, let me make sure Amazon has enough money and AWS has enough money, and then we're gonna launch it. Elon launched SpaceX while Tesla was not doing well. Like, he launches businesses even when another business isn't doing well. So I think there's a lesson in this for us. Yeah, Mr. CMB says Elon just pulls the trigger. Exactly. The Global Citizen 77. Elon has oh, my bad. We keep clicking on it. My bad. Elon has extremely strong bias for action. That's the truth. I'm telling y'all,
Yeah.
action, man, because this is a perfect example. Two billionaires, two men that are both in the top five, at least top 10 richest men in the world. And we see a clear difference between one that's just all about action, just action. Even if it's sloppy, it is better. It's like a person who goes to the gym. It's better to go to the gym and sloppily move around weights than not go to the gym at all. Too many people wait until they know everything about fitness and they need an instructor or a trainer and they need this gym equipment and these pads and these cute gym outfits versus the person that just go in there with a hoodie on, just like lifting, just moving weight and stuff. That's how I want us to be. I don't want us to sit back to wait to see what happens with this AI stuff and the robots and get in this space. Get in this space. Think like Elon. Be a Elon. Be a Kanye West. Be crazy and think, yo, I'm about to take the AI tech industry over. People just like Kanye when he went inside the producers, it was telling him, I'm gonna be the greatest ever. And they were like, bro, you crazy. We have to have that type of energy. For real. Let Kanye be our inspiration because Kanye be saying anti-Semitic stuff and he a black man. And he still could do whatever and go wherever and people like, nah, let him be inspiration. Him and Elon and Kanye be inspiration for us. That being said, Ash, do you think Bezos is ever gonna catch Elon? Do you think Blue Origin, or does it not matter? Is it just good? Is it just good for options and competition? Like, what do you think?
I think that Bezos is calculated. And so he's the type of guy that's going to take his time, but when he does move, he moves to win. So he's also managing a different type of business model. So there are different acquisitions that, he's taking not only mass shopping, but also cinema and using and implementing AI into the Amazon infrastructure in many different ways. And so when it comes down to like pivoting into the space business, the fact that he's like already competing, I think that it's calculated. He may be a little slower to the game, but I'd say Jeff Bezos is, he's the type of guy that's gonna, come out in the end swinging. So
Yeah.
who wins? Is it Jeff or Elon? I'm not sure, but I think that Jeff has some secrets up his sleeve. And a lot of people had a lot to say about the recent launch, the all-female launch, which I would say was a step in the right direction as far as, embracing differences and having an all-female led crew. I understand that it was, a lot of billionaires and it perhaps was selfish, the fact that it was several $1,000,000. However, the positive of it, like an all-female crew, the first of its kind, like, all right, Jeff, So I think that, yeah, the bottom line is profit and money and who comes out in that regard. So I'm
My,
interested
my,
to
my bad.
see,
I was meaning to do this. I was meaning to do the snaps.
oh, like the cheers,
I was like
like
this. It was
poetry
like,
moment.
okay, money. My bad, y'all. I'm glitching like AI. I'm glitching.
I got you. I got you. But yeah, I love this, and I love that Jeff Bezos is also, taking what he loves. He also had a passion for space, like Cyrus said. He was a little behind, even though he already had the original blueprint. But yeah, I mean, how exactly are they making money going to space? It's via payloads, or via the transportation aspect of it itself. So Elon Musk, he's killing it with payloads, and also he has the satellite Starlink that he's sending up. So that makes a lot of sense, the reusable rockets. But for Jeff, for sending, perhaps humans to space, that's what he seems that he's into. I would be interested to see exactly how that's going to be a profitable model. However, there is also space materials that are worth a lot of money. So all of these different asteroids and things on Mars, they're collecting space materials and making, on the low, multi-billions of dollars, because there are literally like diamonds in these asteroids, but diamonds aren't necessarily the most lucrative material, but you get what I'm saying.
I have a question. Why do you think Bezos has launched this 27 Cooper satellite? And not just let's be clear. Starlink and Cooper, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk companies, these are not the only businesses like this where they're launching satellites in space that are meant to give people meant to give people access to phones in rural areas. China's doing it. There are other people that are doing it behind the scenes. That being
Yeah.
said, why do you think Bezos so as a business? Because y'all know I always come back to the money, like either money or power. Because what is the benefit
Right?
for Jeff Bezos? Because Starlink, let's so we all know whether Elon is honest or he's not, and I don't have a reason to think he's not honest. Every business that Elon Musk starts is a business that isn't just profitable. It is a business that is for the furtherment of human civilization. Whether you believe them or not, whether we're talking Tesla and those that believe in, global warming or all of that, or we're talking about Tesla bots and it helping you with your day-to-day tasks, whether we're talking
Yeah.
Tesla used to be solar energy or solar panels, but now the Tesla panels Tesla bought it. Whether we're talking getting your house powered by the sun with the solar panels on your roof, whether we're talking the Boring Company, which is helping expedite travel from New York to London. That's what they're building right now, to where you can be able to get to London in about 1 hour from New York. All of the things that Elon is making, him buying X, formerly Twitter, everything Elon does, there could be an argument that he does it not for money, but for the betterment of human civilization. Because if anybody's read Elon Musk's story, I read his story when I was a Lyft driver. Hey, what's up, Arthur? What's up, bro? We gotta have you on some of these in the future, man. We gotta have you on some of these in the future.
Got
Uh,
to.
but however you slice it and cut it, Elon Musk, again, I read his story, the Elon Musk story, and as a little child, he had two dreams: one, to go into space, but two, he was obsessed with superheroes, and he wanted to be a superhero, and he felt the only way he could truly be a superhero and save the world was if he basically created things that could save people. So however you slice it, if you pull out, it looks as if that's his goal. Of course, he's making billions of dollars while doing it. I bring this up because I understand why Elon would start Starlink if he has the goal of providing internet and phone access for people in third world countries. But now
Right.
I'm curious. I'm like, well, why is Bezos doing it? Because not saying Bezos is evil, but Bezos isn't doing this to help people. So in my head, I'm like, what's the why? And we know the why is money, but I'm like, God, I don't know. I'm curious. Because I know the business model for Starlink is that you have to pay a monthly subscription, I believe, It's like a phone
Right.
bill or internet bill, but you pay a subscription, but you're able to have access any part of the world. You could be stranded on the
Mm,
ocean in the middle of
mm,
nowhere and have phone access because of Starlink. And Starlink also is allegedly really, really cheap. I'm gonna look up, because somebody in the chat, because somebody please look up how much it is to you have a monthly access to Starlink, or how much their month to month plan is. Let me know in the chat, please. But so I'm just curious, like, why is Amazon or Jeff Bezos doing this with their Cooper, their 27 Cooper? That's just, I'm curious. We know it's money. I'm just trying to follow the money. I'm trying to follow what's going on.
mm, mm. What I worry about, I have to say this as a concern and risk. So one of my favorite movies, which you may already know, is The Creator. I don't know if you've already seen it, but essentially it's in the future and the powers that be have a space laser. And so they're dominating because anytime, any place, anywhere, they can just, zap anybody. And so that's why that's exactly the fear that I have, where where there's going to be space dominate, like, to dominate space is a crazy thing to do. Elon, he has all of these satellites. I don't think that, like, we should crowd space with all these satellites. So, like, Jeff, that's cool, but let's talk about regulation, because if you've seen a map of exactly, like, this is our Earth, and you've seen exactly how many satellites are surrounding our planet, it looks a little chaotic. It looks a little chaotic, and that's not okay. We can't cloud our atmosphere. And what Elon is doing, is inevitably going to cause negative side effects in many different ways. And they don't talk about that part about it, though. But yeah, I think that this is a great point. Like, why is Jeff Bezos doing it? For connection, that's great, but I'm sure there's something deeper. I did also hear that you can generate the Japanese have been able to generate power from space. How? Through some sort of, like, solar, leveraging some sort of, like, solar technology, where then you can beam the power back to Earth. Can you imagine something like that? Perhaps, just perhaps, Jeff is already on that. And if he is,
Maybe.
then we have to worry about that space laser coming one of these days. We have to avoid that situation.
So this is the price of Starlink service. One-time hardware cost of $350, 50 gigabytes a month plan for $50 USD, unlimited data for $80 USD a month. See, the thing is, most people in the world can't afford $80 a month. And I know that might, or $50 a month. I know that might sound crazy to y'all, but a lot of people that live in certain countries where they barely even have a phone, a $50 a month bill is like, for them is almost like the equivalent of like you paying a $1,500 a month or $1,000 a month. So, but again, like, I mean, you can't make it cheaper, because you make it cheaper, then it's like you're not even making profit as a business. You're just in the red. It's like it has to make, because I'm sure this is expensive. We're talking about satellites in space. Charging people $50 a month is relatively reasonable, I think, to some degree.
I just
What are
thought
your
of
thoughts,
something.
Ash?
What if Jeff Bezos was starting a phone company, and then his plan was to dominate with his satellites with limitless connection? Can you imagine that? Can you
Hmm.
imagine that for 1 second? What if? I'm gonna look
I
that
know,
up because
I believe it, because Amazon has tried to start a phone company before and it failed. There's a list. Y'all could look up all of the businesses Amazon has tried to start that failed. Like, believe it or not, most of Amazon's businesses have flopped. And so, and I know some people are thinking like Amazon's business is just Amazon. No, Amazon has a lot of different. I mean, y'all know, obviously there's Alexa, there's Prime, like Amazon's TV. There is AWS, that technically is a different business, but it's still Amazon Web Services, still part of Amazon. However you cut it, and a lot of people don't know Amazon Web Services is their number one breadwinner. It's how they make the majority of their money. Um, Amazon has a lot of different business models under their one umbrella. Y'all know how they talk about, having several different sources of income. The best way really is to have one business that has multiple businesses in it that all feed into the same machine. Um, Elon does it opposite, which is interesting. this goes to show it's like a parallel. We can kind of do a parallel of Bezos versus Elon and how they both do everything opposite. Elon starts a business or he goes out and helps people that have started a business. And then he does it with 10 different businesses. And then he gradually integrates all of them together. Bezos is the opposite. He's more traditional. He started a business, Amazon, and then Amazon buys up businesses or they grab in businesses into Amazon. Like immediately, that's the first thing they do. Two completely different models, same end goal, but two completely different models. And it's interesting. It's so interesting how you could be a billionaire and you could be total opposite of the way another billionaire does it. It's just interesting to think about, to see how you just got to find what works for you. Because obviously we can see that Bezos is much more methodical with the way he does things. They're so opposite because Bezos, he laughs a lot, but Bezos is seen as much more serious, much more quiet, much more stern. Elon is like la 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 la. It's like they really are like arch enemies. Where it's like if Bezos was like the evil villain trying to catch up to him, he's like, one of these days I'm gonna catch you, Elon. Elon's like la 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 the whole time. It's so interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Ash Face getting a download. So Ash, so you made a great point. Somebody mentioned data. That might be the reason why. But yeah, I do believe that the Amazon might be. I'm gonna type in Amazon phone flop because I know they had a phone that flopped.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah, they had a phone call. It was called Amazon's Fire Phone. Yeah, yeah, they had a phone called the Fire Phone. Yeah, and it flopped. They lost $170 million, which is nothing to them. That's nothing to them. That's yeah, but they could be trying to spin the block. They could be saying, okay, that failed. We learned from it. Now they could be looking at what Elon is doing and being like, okay, let's go ahead and go that route. Somebody else said data. I'm not really sure what other data can they get that they're not getting already from their Amazon store. Or you know what? There's other data to be got. You're right. There's other data to be got. Ash, Ash, do you have any other news to share? You got time for like one more piece of news, or you got to jump?
um, I do have to jump, but I will go ahead and close it off strong with some news. Okay, so we're just gonna close it off. And Cyrus, if you have anything that you want to also share, obviously we can do that too. So this may not be the end, but with big tech, all right. So we want to talk about big tech's massive AI investments. So we already have heard about how everyone's investing into their own compute facilities and trying to create data chips. All right, we're talking NVIDIA, Meta, etc. So let's go ahead and get into the exact numbers, and we're going to follow the money into exactly how you guys can pivot. So essentially, we know of all those major tech companies that we discussed, they're making significant financial commitments. So we're talking Meta, Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon specifically. So collectively, they plan to spend over 300 billion this year. And so this is aiming at not only AI development, but also over the next 4 years, this is going to be targeting AI manufacturing and silicon engineering in the US. We all know about this news. We've all heard about it. However, we also need to be able to do is pivot, and ways that you can do this. We understand where the money's going with all of these substantial investments and rapid advancements in AI technology. That means that they're going to be searching for people who specialize in building these chips or robotics and the people that have these skills. So if you're not already in the space to intersect to be able to build these technologies on the back end so that you're not going to be able to lose your job in the future, I would say start to look into that. So specifically, of course, this is going to enhance competition and innovation. So if Meta's competing with Apple and Microsoft and Amazon, etc., then they're all competing to win, obviously. And so we see the pro of all of these advanced facilities that cost multi-millions of dollars, which is, of course, innovation and the flow of capital. But however, there is also going to be a negative impact for our environment. We have not yet set the precedent and solution for sustainable powering of these advanced computational facilities. And so Elon Musk, for example, he has, his Solar City company where he can implement, solar technology easily and effortlessly to power his compute facilities. However, for everybody else, what tools are they leveraging? And so essentially we see that most people are going to be not using sustainable technology, but instead they're going to be powering massive data centers. And so this is similar to a way that Bitcoin was powered. So instead of them being able to leverage hydro or solar, instead they're using electricity. And there's so much negatives that are going to be tied to that. So this is important because we want to also end it off on a note of sustainability and also creating a future where we're all able to prosper, a better future. And so we know that this is inevitable. They are building all these facilities. However, the next step is for you to gain the skills that you need to be able to get ahead, to apply artificial intelligence in your day-to-day, in your job, or to look ahead and get ahead by industries that are currently evolving. And one of those is going to be computer vision technology, as for self-driving cars like NVIDIA, or building robots, or on the other side, like we're talking about, for these compute facilities, where it's going to be building the infrastructure and leveraging and working for data centers. Now, that particular skill isn't going to go out of fashion if you're able to actually work at a data center and keep these powerhouses going. So with that, we will go ahead and close it off. I want to pass it back over to Cyrus. Is there anything that you wanted to mention before we close it off officially? You're muted. I can't hear
Oh yeah, you said something. And I want to take a quick poll from everybody, including you, to see what y'all believe. I forget, it was some founder recently, the founder of one of these AI tech companies. He said that he believes the creator of Bitcoin is somebody from the future, or no, it's AI from the future.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because y'all know the founder of Bitcoin, yeah, what's his name, Ash?
Satoshi. I'm not going to say his
Yes.
last name because I'm going to butcher it, but Maki,
Yeah.
Satoshi.
Satoshi. Yeah, that's the founder of Bitcoin, but nobody knows who it actually is. And we know Bitcoin cryptocurrency has shaken up the financial markets like nothing ever has before. And no one knows, like we know the name, the person, like we know the name who says they started it, but nobody knows who the person is. You can't hide that kind of person on earth. That person can't be truly hidden. Not for this long. Not for this long. And so the theory that came out is that AI from the future created Bitcoin. Thank you, Satoshi Nakamoto. Created Bitcoin.
Nakamoto. Yeah.
And it's like, that theory, it sounds crazy, but it's plausible, because it's like, because we got to think about the boom that just happened. Like, I feel like we just entered a boom that just happened that's similar to the boom. Usually we don't see technological booms this big unless there's a war that's going on. Like the war that happened back in the 1950s, the basically World War I. We had such a technological boom from World War I, and the fact we're seeing a similar or even more drastic boom without an actual like combative war is unprecedented. It's unprecedented. So yeah, maybe AI, maybe a lot of the technology we have in general, AI from the future, has been coming and giving it to us. I don't know. I want to know what y'all thoughts are on that topic. And aside from that, look, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Again, if you need AI solutions when it comes to your personal life, your business, or your career, tap in with Ash, get a consultation with her, so that way she can help you and direct you. For those of y'all that you want funding from $50,000 to $300,000 within the next 48 hours or the next 2 business days at least, click the link down below, the link for funding, either for personal use or for your business. And so we have been helping, on average, we've been helping about 10 people a week get funding. The people who don't qualify for the funding, all they're having to do is tap into the AI credit repair service. So that way they'll qualify for the funding. And also for those that are worried about how much you'll have to pay back for the funding, if you want, there is the AI trading tool that I mentioned earlier. The team will be able to talk to you about that. So if you want to invest some of your money into that, that AI will allow you to not just pay the loan back, but pay it back plus interest. So now you're actually making money off of the funding that you got. So either way, tap in with that. We appreciate y'all so much. On your way out, hit the like button. Hit the like button on your way out. That's the only thing we ask from y'all. We would deeply, deeply appreciate that because it helps our platform grow. And we'll look at a few of the comments as we wrap up. Michael Burns says, he says, interesting. If it was AI, Mr. CMB, we could be in a silent cyber war. That's very true. Yasmin, you're my new AI channel. Ash, please keep bringing the elevation. And Cyrus, please keep bringing the next level thinking. You two make a solid team. Thank you so much, Jasmine. Your Ash is amazing. Woo TV, that thing is ether, a currency mankind can't control or explain. We talking money in air, smart contracts, etc. Jasmine Rose, appreciate it, Jasmine. Great call, guys. Thank you from California, sending YouTube peace throughout your day. Hey, thank you. Peace back to you, Jasmine. Peace and blessings. Hey, look, God bless y'all. Many blessings over y'all and y'all's weekend. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time on the weekly Tech and AI News.